大家好，欢迎收听唱歌学中文。Hi everybody, welcome to Sing and Learn Chinese. Today we are going over the song Evermore from Beauty and the Beast. Now you may be wondering, why are we going over Evermore? Isn't that an English song? Well, it is. It was written for the 2017 live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, so you're not going to find this in the animated movie from the 1990s. But, is it 1990s? I hope so. But it was written by the same composer, I believe, Alan Menken. And it's a great song. So there's a Chinese version of it because, right, you've got Chinese version of the movie. So of course they need to translate the songs as well. And what we have here is the Chinese lyrics on top, as usual, and then we have the original English lyrics at the bottom of your screen. So you can see how they compare. And actually, I looked through the lyrics. They're fairly close, considering. A lot of times when people translate songs from one language to another, especially Disney songs, they will not necessarily stick to the original meaning of the lyrics. They'll kind of come up with their own thing. But in this case, whoever did the translation actually tried to stick closer to the meaning than what I usually see. So let's take a look. You can tell me what you think. First line, we have 过去的我拥有太多. So the English line is I was the one who had it all. And 过去的我 means the me in the past. So 过去 means past, 我 is I. So 过去的我 means I from the past. The past version of me, because the means that the stuff in front of it describes the thing behind it. So 过去 describes 我, the past me. 拥有太多 had, possessed, 太多 is too much. So in the past, I had too much. I possessed too much. I had everything. Then we have the English line, I was a master of my fate. And in Chinese, that's 我创造自己的命运. So 我 is again me. 创造 is to create 自己的 my own 命运 destiny or fate. So I created my own destiny. I controlled my own fate. I was a master of my fate. Pretty close, right? Then we have 从来不需要谁来关心陪伴我. 从来 means I have never. In the past, I'd never. 不需要 means don't need. 谁 anybody. 来 means to come. 关心 is to care about. 陪伴 is to accompany. 我 me. So I never needed anybody. I never needed anyone to come and care about me or to accompany me. I was fine on my own. And the English is I never needed anybody in my life, which, yep, pretty much. Then we have 终于知道错了. Finally, I realized I was wrong. So 终于 finally, 知道 means to know, or in this case to realize. 错了 means was wrong. I was wrong. So it actually works out translation-wise because the English says I learned the truth too late, which, same basic meaning, even if the word for word is not quite there, but you never have a word for word translation when you go between any two languages usually. So the only thing though is that sometimes in order to make the meaning work, they sacrifice a bit of the rhyme. So we have, what do we have here? From the beginning, we have 过去的我拥有太多, so we have the 我 sound. Then we have 我创造自己的命运, so 运 sound. Then 关心陪伴我, so 我 rhymes with 多. And then 错了, the l comes out of nowhere. It doesn't really rhyme with anything. I feel like they could have done 终于知道是我的错. That might work because then you would have 错 at the end and then you have that rhyme with 多 and 我. The only problem is it's too many syllables. But, you have to sacrifice something. So either the rhyme goes or the meaning goes or the number of syllables, the rhythm has to be massaged a little bit. That's what happens when you translate a song. Okay, then we have 我的痛苦无法摆脱. 我的 my 痛苦 pain 无法 unable to. There's no way to. 摆脱 is to get out of it, escape, save myself from. I'll never shake away the pain is the English line, which is, pretty close. We don't have shake away, but we have 摆脱痛苦, which means to leave pain. Then we have 闭上眼睛,她看着我. Close my eyes, and she watches me. She sees me. She looks at me. So basically, when he closes his eyes, he can see her. This song, of course, is sung from the Beast's perspective. This is a part of the story where he lets Beauty go back home. If you're familiar with the story of Beauty and the Beast, the idea is that the Beast needs Beauty, this girl whose name is Beauty in the fairy tale, but in the movie her name's Belle, which means beauty in French. But anyways, okay, so he needs her in order to become human again because she has to love him in order for the curse to break so that he can become a human again. But then at this crisis moment in the story, he loves her first and he lets her go because she needs to go back to take care of her father or something like that. And he is pretty sure she's not coming back, but for her good, he sacrifices his own well-being to let her go. So this is the point at which she sings the song. So 闭上眼睛她看着我 is I close my eyes and she's looking at me. Then we have, the English. I close my eyes, but she's still there, which is, yeah, that's right. Then 我让她走进我的心，我的心中被爱角落。So 我让她 I let her 走进 walk into 我心中被爱角落。In my heart, 心中我心 is my heart, and 中 is in the center of or inside of. 被爱 is to be loved, and then 角落 is the corner. So I let her walk into the corner of my heart where I can be loved, which is a little, awkward in English. Actually, it's awkward in Chinese too. But anyways, I let her steal into my melancholy heart is the English line. Then we have 后果不能掌握. 后果 is the consequences, and then 不能 is not able to. 掌握 is control. I can't control the consequences, which is more different than before in terms of compared to the English. The English, it's more than I can bear. Oh well. Then 他永远, now we get to the chorus, I guess you could call this. 他永远不会离开我 means she forever will not leave me. So she'll never leave me. Now I know she'll never leave me. Then we have 虽然身影走远了. 虽然 although, even though 身影 is her figure, her silhouette. 走远了 has gone away, has gone far away. 远 is far. So even as she runs away is the English. Then we have 还在让我折磨，让我伤心，让我感动过. So 还在 still is, she is still, the she is understood. 让我 is making me or letting me, but it's more of a make me in this situation. 折磨 is to suffer. And then 伤心 is to be hurt, to grieve, like your heart is hurt. And then 感动 is to be moved, to be emotionally moved. 感动过 means I have been moved, past tense. So she can still, 她还在让我折磨，让我心, she's still making me suffer and grieve. 让我伤心，让我感动过, but she's touched me before, she's moved me. And then the English is she will still torment me, calm me, hurt me, move me, come what may. Okay. Then we have 我的寂寞他没等待，我的 my 寂寞 loneliness 他没 she didn't 等待 wait for, which is kind of different from wasting in my lonely tower, but lonely is there. So 如果一切能重来，如果 if 一切 everything 能 able to 重来 start over, if I could start everything over again, which is different from waiting by an open door, but you could kind of make the case that the sentiment is the same, the emotional sentiment, even if the meaning is not. Anyways, 欺骗自己他会回来. 欺骗 means to deceive or to trick or to fool, lie to. 自己 is myself. 他会 she will 回来 return. I lie to myself and say that she's going to return. So I'll fool myself, she'll walk right in. Close-ish. Then 跟我永远一起生活. 跟我 means with me, 永远 is forever. 一起 together, 生活 live. She will live with me forever. We will live together forever. And then the line is, and be with me forevermore. Yeah, that's fairly close. And then 我不接受爱的曲折. So back to the verse again, second verse. 我不接受, I do not accept 爱的曲折. Love's 曲折 is twists and turns, bumpiness of love. I rage against the trials of love. Okay. And then 我诅咒光阴的衰落. 我诅咒 is I curse. 光 is light, 阴 is shadow, and then 衰落 is decline. I decline. I curse the declining of light and shadow. Well, 光阴 times decline. Yeah, so it's like light and dark is a day, right? So you've got a day passing and then declining of the day. It's a little bit tricky to describe this. Anyways, I curse the fading of the light is the English line. Then we have 虽然他离去会让我不知所措. So 虽然 even though 他离去 her leaving 会让我 will let me or will make me. 不知所措 is a 4-character idiom that means feel helpless, at a loss, don't know what to do. Which is kind of different from the English, though she's already flown so far beyond my reach. Then we have 我看到她迷惑. I see her. You can imagine 我看到她, comma, 迷惑. So I see her and then 迷惑 is confusion. I see her and I'm confused kind of thing. Because otherwise 我看到她迷惑 means I see her confusion, which doesn't quite fit in this context, I don't think. So she's never out of sight is the English line, so it's different. Then we have 她永远不会离开我. We talked about this before, which means she'll never leave me. Now she'll never leave me, or she'll never leave me. And then 虽然身影模糊了，模糊 means blurry. So even though her silhouette has become blurry, her figure, this image that he has of her has blurred. So now I know she'll never leave me even as she fades from view. All right, close enough. Then 他还在前等我陪伴我，不管我做什么。他还在前 is she is still 在前 is ahead of me. 等我 means waiting for me. 陪伴我 accompanying me, being with me. 不管我做什么，不管 means it doesn't matter, doesn't care. 我做什么 what I do. So no matter what I do, she is still ahead, right ahead of me, waiting to be with me, waiting and being with me. And then she will still inspire me, be a part of everything I do is the English line, which is kind of different. But anyways, all right. Then we have 我的寂寞他没等待，如果一切能自己他会回来。So this we've all gone through before. 我的寂寞他没等待 she didn't wait for my loneliness, which I'm not really sure what that means, but like, okay. And then 如果一切能重来 if everything could start over again 欺骗自己他会回来I fool myself that she will return. And you can see the English down below. Then 随着漫漫长夜经过 Okay, so 随着 is following as 慢慢 is long or slow, and then 长夜 is the night, the long night. 经过 passes. So as the long nights begin. So yeah, you've got long in English, and you've got 慢慢 in Chinese. So 我会想起一个承诺 I will think of a promise. I will 想起 to think of 一个 a 承诺 promise. I'll think of a promise. I'll think of all that might have been different. Then 等待一个人经过 and then 等待 is to wait for 一个人 one person 经过 to pass by. So he's obviously thinking of one specific person. I'm waiting for a specific person to pass by. And then the English is waiting here for Evermore. So they probably use 经过 because that rhymes. Yeah, 经过承诺经过 again. So you've got that or end rhyme that works here. And that is it. That is a Chinese version of Evermore. What did you think? Was the translation on point? Do you feel like it pretty much caught the spirit of the song? Let me know. And if you have any song requests, songs that you'd like to hear the explanation for or know what the lyrics mean, feel free to contact me, let me know, leave a comment, email, and you know the drill. Until we sing again, 再见.